Welcome to this week's Pete's Tech Den, show number 36. We are here every Friday, give or take, at 8:30, and talking about ways in which we can save money when doing stuff with technology, whether that being reusing old technology like old computers or stuff like that, in new ways and do other cool things with, or whether it's just, paying attention. There's all kinds of cool stuff out there, new stuff, like new, and that you can buy for very cheap and, still do all kinds of cool stuff with. So, just in general, saving money, doing cool stuff with technology, we kind of bring those together, and try to have lots of fun. Yeah. So tonight, I came over here to the Blab platform, hoping to hopefully get some people in here. We'll see if we can. January 1st, 2016, kind of looking forward to the new year and ways in which, we can save money in the projects that we're going to be working on this year. So really hoping that we can get somebody in here and figure out what kind of projects you guys are working on. See if we can find some solutions. I like to. There's always the way that you can, attack a problem and accomplish it. There's kind of the traditional way sometimes, and you usually have to throw a bunch of money at it, kind of stuff. I like to look for the more creative ways to do it, where you don't have to spend as much money. So, and I don't know, I always kind of enjoy finding ways to do things. But yeah, so we got an open seat, and yeah, it's open. So if you guys want to come out and come on. But in the meantime, I kind of wanted to talk a couple of things. I'm looking forward to the new year, as I look forward to some of the projects I'm going to be working on. The one thing I definitely wanted to mention was the Pine 64s. It's another one of these, small single board computers that are, incredibly cheap, kind of in the whole Raspberry Pi kind of model. But they pack so much more horsepower, a lot more horsepower into, their device for less money. And I just think it's really cool project because, their cheapest computer is $15 and would have similar horsepower to the, I believe it's the Raspberry B, so which is currently $25. Theirs is $15, and I have one that's comparable to like the Raspberry Pi 2, except it's only $19 instead of $35. And they have one that's got more horsepower. It's only $29. They're running that Kickstarter right now. And I've already supported it. That was never in doubt. I'll just drop a link in the comments. But I'm working on it's kind of funny. There were several projects I was going to be working on here in the near future, and um, was actually looking at Raspberry Pi 2s to kind of be the heart and soul of the projects, or at least play a fairly major role. And well, because the Pine 64 is there, and it's gonna be it's gonna replace the Raspberry Pi. Well, that's kind of a goofy link, but because, well, the one project working on kind of this idea of, because I kind of like to be able to do like this kind of like podcasting, except take it mobile. And more practically be able to fit what I'm going to be able to do with it. Like, I should be able to start broadcasting and then walk around, kind of a thing. Which I think would be kind of, I don't know. It sounds cool to me, yeah, but I mean, obviously people already do live broadcasting walking around. But I wanna do it. I'm looking cheap because obviously they've got systems out there very expensive. I'm not gonna be able to afford this. So the idea is to use this Pine 64 with, because it's a micro USB is the power, plugging it into power packs so that I can get my power from these power packs. Gonna combine some just fairly big, like 50,000 milliamp battery packs, and then have some that are, I think they're going to be 30,000 with built-in solar panels, so that I can just have constant power. The idea, hoping to the point where that at least for at least you should be able to broadcast for very several hours. So, and then obviously right now the idea is to use a MiFi device to get the internet connection, unless somebody has a better idea. I always it's like I get these ideas and I start like thinking through them, and then it's like, well, then I go and I talk to my my dad or my brother, who are both computer guys and know way more than I know, and they'll throw some things back, and it kind of forces me to kind of like, I'll rethink this. Let's maybe that's not the best idea. Kind of think about. Actually, I had this, which kind of going along with it, the whole theme of saving money on tech projects, is like, well, I was talking to my brother because I wanted to buy parts to build this computer for this another project where I'm going to be broadcasting live audio, just audio, over a local LAN system. And I was just, asking about, like, what do you think about this deal? Because I was, I'm looking at some of the, these holiday deals that they've been out there. And I was like, well, I think this is a good deal. And ask him specifically packaging, as a processor, motherboard, and RAM. And he kind of was like, well, I don't think you based on what you told me of, what the project is going to be, and I don't think you're going to need that much. And so I think it's like something to think about, like, it can be really easy, like as a tech guy, as you know, to get really excited about just throwing just tons of stuff into a computer when you don't really need all of that stuff. You don't need all that horsepower. And um, it's like, which, leads to spending more money, which I have to say, I've got a computer that I use as it acts like a DVR and kind of and I can play TV on it, kind of thing. Because I'm using Kodi kind of as a front end on it with a Myth TV back end to record TV and then also watch live TV and stuff like that. And it's something I think about recently. I was like, well, I don't really think I don't feel like I'm really really taxing the system. And I checked some of the. I know at least in Kodi you can go in and see in real time how much of CPU is this, how much CPU is it using, how much RAM, that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's not really using very much of the horsepower that the computer has. And so it's like, it's one of those cases where I was like, well, I kind of got excited and just bought stuff, and I didn't need as much horsepower in that thing. And so because of that, well, I'm thinking through that. I actually been working on what's going to replace it. Because I did another Kickstarter, which actually did this last episode. We did a review of the Remix Mini, which is another one of these little tiny computers. Whereas the Raspberry Pi and the Pi 64 are kind of for the people that are making things, where you're where it's very much, you just get the board and then, you plug in power, and then there's pins where you can plug stuff in and, kind of build it into whatever project that you're working on. This one is more of a finished final product that they're selling to consumers. The Remix Mini, but it runs a reworked version of Android. Really cool, and it's gonna be this tiny little computer I can just stick up there, and it's going to run the front end. I think the back end's gonna have to run on something else, which I think I may pull back and put on one of these old computers that I have sitting back here right now. I'm not sure which one yet. I've got several of them back here. And then that'll free the computer up where I can do something else with it and kind of figure out what I'm going to do with that. I don't know what, I don't know if I'll set it up here on my desk or something and use it more as the desktop. I don't know. We will find out. That'll be one of my projects for this year. Another thing, I've talked about this. I forget. I'm trying to think of what episode. I think this harkens back to episode 2 or 3, so last year. Well, I'd set up, showed that you can load up a Tornado media server. The kind of nice thing is you basically you take whatever operating system you want. I mean, they've got versions for Linux, they got versions for Windows, versions for Mac, and I think they actually have like a portable version. Let me double check on that. But the two things that like, well, because I'd set it up and then I'd moved machines, and so I had to blow stuff away and start over again. And so I'm just getting around to it and got it, all set back up. But the two things that I really like about it that and kind of keep me coming back to it is the fact that I can do on my phone, Android or iOS, they have apps for both. I can do photo sync. And so I can sync all of my photos back to it. And then if I want to, I can set it up to where it'll sync to my computer. Which is really nice. And the other thing is like I can put I've actually got an external hard drive that's sitting plugged into it with my music on it, and then I can I add the folder and tell it to index it for music, and then I can play the music. And the really nice thing is, like, I can stream the music from the server to my phone using the app from anywhere. As long as I have an internet connection, I can stream the music to my phone, which is really, it's nice because then it's kind of like your own music streaming service. Like, which for me is definitely an awesome thing. Because I don't know, I haven't really gotten into any of the Pandora's or Spotify or Apple Music or Google Music. But plus, I don't know, I kind of like being able to set up and do my own thing, and it's like all of my data is on my computer and stuff, which is a plus for me. Plus, then I can actually set it up and I can mount. That's one thing I still haven't gotten set up. I need to set it up so that basically I mount that to the Kodi, and then I can stream my music from there. But it actually, from what messing around I've done with it, like, it works really well streaming. And does a good job of like switching between songs, and like if the cover art is included in the file, then it pulls it in and shows it, and works awesome. But well, we had one person who subscribed to this, so I wasn't sure whether they were to come out or not. But right now, it's just me. Just me. The other thing that kind of hit me is, should look at there was an episode where we went and talked about like going through and like, you know, how you go about finding that, you know, incredible deal. Like I, I enjoy being, you know, finding that deal and being like, yes, and like telling people about it because it's always super awesome to find that deal and to score the that crazy. Yeah, there it is. How to find that great episode 20. We talked about it, and I found it kind of interesting because like after doing that episode, and you know, I guess thinking like I kind of laid out my thought process and the I guess the my process for how I went about looking for a deal and some of the rules that I tried to stick to and at least for me found to be very helpful and beneficial. And I mean sometimes you're telling people that, but you're like you're still not like, well, I don't like you don't have a ton of data to prove that your ideas are valid at all. And it's just been really kind of crazy because like since that episode, like I've seen cases where especially the idea of setting that price for what you want to pay for something and then sticking to it and not caving has brought people deals time and time again. And I think it's really cool. Just kind of to see that, the ideas that I had are actually valid ones. But yeah, just if you got any ideas or any tech projects that you've got on the horizon, on want to explore kind of maybe a more creative way to save money. It's still got an open seat where you can jump in. Just been talking about some of the projects that I've been working on, both with setting up a media server and redoing my Kodi Mist TV setup, and working on a mobile broadcasting unit. So yeah, I mean, anybody out there, I'm throwing that out here. I mean, anybody knows a better, like faster internet connection setup that can be mobile and battery powered than like a MiFi device? I would definitely be interested because the MiFi device with broadcasting like video, I feel like that's gonna it's either gonna be terrible, maybe, or maybe you'd have to. Maybe I just have to do audio. That might be what I have to do. But if you got a project, I mean, either throw it in the questions or jump in. We got an open seat. Looking for first person to jump in. But and I was just talking about finding that deal and setting that price that you want to pay for something and then sticking to it. But the one thing you have to set, when you set your price, you got to set it reasonable, because you can say, I want to buy a computer and I only want to pay, that might not be, because I was saying, pay, $5 or something. Well, now you can't buy a computer for $5. You can go out and get the Raspberry Pi Zero for $5. I mean, granted, it's a single chip computer, and I mean, you're not going to be able to do it like a lot of super intensive stuff, and you're going to have to get some special cables to get everything plugged in and everything, but it's still just like crazy. I mean, but like, I'm going to find a Mac and, buy it for like $100. Well, if you find one that is $100, it will be, really old and not very usable. And so you just kind of have to. That's why sometimes it can be helpful to kind of do some research into what prices are and stuff. Which, thinking of that, Amazon, when you're doing stuff on Amazon, you just use Camel. That service is amazing. If you can go out there and you put the link for whatever the item you're looking for in the search, they pull it up and they show you the price history for it, and you can set it up to say, hey, let me know when the price drops to such and such a price. Which is kind of nice because it'll send you an email and you can kind of just set it and forget about it. Which, I mean, in the amount of time it takes, that is helpful. Actually, got a webcam getting tracked right now. So, but yeah, looks like we got one person out there, Ryan Fishman. Got any projects? Cool. Got him coming in. We'll let him in. See if this one. Hey.
Hey.
What kind of tech projects are you working on?
I'm working on management software for sports, amateur sports. So like organizing leagues, organizing teams, organizing referees.
Okay. So, like the programming of it or anything?
Yeah, all of it. It's programming project.
Cool. So you found any like good deals or anything within setting that, or?
Well, I only pay about $120 for a web hosting. Everything else is just my time.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap to do a web project.
Yeah. There's lots of services out there. There's you can go over to DigitalOcean and you can spin up a server there for their cheapest is $5 a month. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Similar price at discountasp.net that I'm using to host.
Yeah, okay.
I only have about 350 people using my site right now, so I don't have heavy loads.
Yeah.
It's used around the Montreal area to schedule referees right now.
Okay, cool.
I just hopped on this blab. I didn't really know what it was about or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, we have, this week we're over on Blab. Usually we just been using YouTube to broadcast out there. Just explore different tech projects that we can, look at a little more creative ways to do it, whether being like trying to like reuse old computers and turn them into like servers, because a lot of times you can even though it's not as powerful enough to drive the kind of the GUI part of it, you can do stuff on the command line and stuff. And like I've set up one old computer to do like a print server, so I can hook my USB printer into it, and then it allows me to print to it from the network from anywhere, which is kind of nice.
Cool. All my GUI stuff is done in JavaScript, so
Yeah.
no GUI processing on my servers. Just fetching data and returning them. You got any projects going?
I mean, just working on. I set up a Tonito media server. It was right before Christmas break, and then actually right now I'm working on doing a redesign of the website for the podcast. Getting off of just a free WordPress site and onto our own domain and stuff.
Cool.
So, hoping I can have that done sometime in the next week or so. And then a couple other projects are like trying to create like a mobile broadcasting unit that'll fit in like side of like a backpack. But I'm waiting because I just did funded a Kickstarter for a little computer called the Pine 64. It's kind of like a Raspberry Pi, except they have better specs and are cheaper. So,
Cool.
but yeah, they've got one model it's got 2 gigs of RAM and it's a 64-bit processor for $29. So,
Wow.
so I'm hoping that'll have enough horsepower to do. I'm hoping to be able to do some kind of video, like live broadcasting. And I'm hoping to get some of their less powerful units, probably the gig versions, where they just have a gigabyte of RAM.
Have you tried it yet? Have you seen the quality is any good?
I haven't seen anything yet because they haven't finished their Kickstarter. But one of the people involved with the project used to work with Apple, so I figure he probably knows quality. But their gig of RAM units are only $19, so I'm going to try to use those in a project where I'm trying to create kind of like a sound system, except you remove all the wiring between the soundboard and the speakers, to where you can have your central unit. You'd set that up, and then you'd set up your speakers out there, and you would just have to run power to them, but it would broadcast the audio out to them wirelessly. So,
Cool.
but those are my big projects for the next year or so.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for jumping in, Ryan. Cool. Working on scheduling. Scheduling can be kind of a big thing. Getting everybody in the right place. I know that for sure. Work, I do some handling the scheduling of sound techs over at Grace University. So, yeah, fun stuff. And I mean, yeah, definitely web, you know, the web services, I mean, there's still some out there that are, can be expensive, but some other ones can be really cheap to, fire up your own servers and stuff, which is really cool. Which, I was talking to him, getting ready to, spin up, well, fire off a new website. Probably have an announcement about that next week. As soon as I can get everything finished. I think basically right now I just got to move all the old episodes over to the new site, and then we'll be ready to go. But that'll be super cool. Gonna be able to have a lot more hands-on and kind of figure I can kind of do all the different kind of things that I have more control over it. That you just, because with WordPress free sites, yeah, they're free, and that is nice. But in the free version, you don't have a whole lot of control over what you're able to do and stuff like that. But yeah, hosting that over at DigitalOcean, which they're awesome. I mean, you can get 512 megabytes of RAM and 20 gigabyte SSD for $5 a month. Or they've got like hourly pricing, which I think is like 0.7 cents an hour for that, I think, if I remember correctly. So just super cool. You can kind of, spin stuff up and do stuff. And, when you're done, you just trash it and you move on. And yeah, it's just, the API, I mean, you can spin up a server, 55 seconds. Pretty easy. But yeah, currently the website is petestechden.wordpress.com. Go out there and you go out to /live, the live page, and see when the next show is. And usually the YouTube is embedded there. Hoping to have some working on, some cool people come on, projects that I've been following, supporting and stuff, on Kickstarter. I'm hoping to get some people on, but we'll see. Always kind of, fun stuff. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it a night. We're out here every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Central, which would be 7:30 Eastern. I guess not out here, but out live. Just go to petestechden.wordpress.com/live. You'll find us. You will post it out there. You'll also find us on YouTube, Pete's Tech Den. We got a Facebook page, Pete's Tech Den. But yeah, so always having lots of fun talking about technology. To see what I gotta knock down what is our subject for next week. But it'll be a blast as we get another year. I guess we've been on here. It's probably been, that's probably the last show, show 35, would have been the 1 year, I think, anniversary. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, so we've been on here for a year, and now we got another year to talk about cool technology products and cool ways to reuse old technology. And then occasionally we dive into some of the moral issues and things about, like, I don't know, just working on how we communicate through technology and using it in the most efficient, best ways, and kind of allowing us to use technology rather than technology use us. But all kinds of fun. So, till next week, do cool stuff with technology, but don't break the bank to do it. Good night.